Diane Abbott sparked outrage yesterday after writing this about the tragic deaths of 41 migrants in a shipwreck off the coast of Italy. These migrants have indeed effed off to the bottom of the sea. Just horrific. I mean, she deleted the tweet. It looked like it was a humorless dig at Lee Anderson, who spoke for many when he made these remarks to the Daily Express.
If they don't like barges, then they should f*** off back to France.
Now, Abbott had the whip removed by Keir Starmer earlier this year after comments she made in The Observer were deemed anti-Semitic, but she remains a Labour Party member. So, Anne, goodness me, new low from Diane Abbott, once a Labour Party front bencher?
Certainly a new low, and one would hope it would be an all-time low, because I really don't see how she could get much lower. But she's had the whip removed. When you have the whip removed, you're no longer a member of the party, and you may not stand in the party's interest in the following election. Therefore, I think what Keir Starmer should say is that he believes that her constituency association should think very carefully about whether or not to select another candidate. But having said all of that, we believe in free speech, or certainly I believe in free speech. And even when that freedom is exercised distastefully, as it certainly was on this occasion, even when it's exercised distastefully, there is still, or should be, the freedom to speak and to say what you think. And then, of course, to face the consequences. And if the consequences are that her constituency doesn't want her any longer, then that is one thing that can happen. But if the consequences are that people are prepared to put up with that, then, you know, that is free speech. You can't say we're going to have free speech as long as the person exercising the freedom says what we like, because the instant you've done that, you've actually become just like the woke brigade.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I think it's absolutely fine that she tweeted that. I'm not saying that Twitter should have deleted her or she should be arrested or anything like that. But what I do think, Anne, is it shows how a lot of the hard left view the migrant crisis. And to them, they actually want to politicise the loss of life. And I think that's what's really bad. And where are you on Lee's comments? Because personally, I had no issue with them, but all week, guests on my show have been very divided.
No, I've no issue with it at all. I rather think that somebody in his public position should use perhaps more careful language in terms of the verb that he chose to use. But the sentiment, I entirely endorse. I mean, you know, if you don't like what you're coming to here, then for goodness sake, stay in France or go back to France. These people are in a perfectly safe country in France. They do not need safety. Nobody at Calais, nobody trying to get over here from France is in any need of a safe refuge. They already have it. And why don't they want to stay there? For the simple reason that they know that when their asylum claims are processed, the French, who are very hard-headed about this, will simply say, no, you don't get asylum. Come over here, and we don't have national identity cards. We don't routinely practice detention. We do have a very flourishing underground economy. And so they come over here, and the chances of their being ultimately removed are very small. That's what attracts them. That's why they are coming. So to come on that basis and then to moan about the conditions, anybody who actually wants a safe refuge would really welcome being on that barge, feeling free from the persecution that they were trying to get away from, feeling free from the fear that they would have been living in daily. They would welcome almost anything. And yet they're getting very uppity about it. Well, OK. That, to me, doesn't suggest a desperate asylum seeker.
No, indeed. And, of course, they're coming from France. They're coming from that first world country of France.